Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am David Squeeze Annakie, and I am, should I say where I'm at? Nah, let's not say that. But this show is all about cruising with a case handler. The case handler happens to be a friend of mine who is an attorney who has done wonders for a ton of people. And I'm very proud of what it is that he has done in the capacity of personal injury. He's now with one of the most powerful firms in New York City, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And of course, he runs the personal injury department there. But also that firm was built on immigration. So now just think about how happy I am being an immigrant that I could actually have the case handler pull this firm in, and we're talking about all of that. That's phenomenal. So until he gets on the show, I just wanted to jump right into it and say, I'm very thankful. Sometimes we don't remember to say thanks, and I'm very thankful, right, that so many people can get so much help from Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. All right. So Nelson, what up, man? I know we were talking about something else, but how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm in a different...
Actually, I'm good, but you are wonderful.
oh, where I'm at right now, I am wonderful.
I'm sure.
And and by the way, I did not inhale. I'm just saying that. I did not inhale. All right. Anyway, proceed. By the way, inside jokes, folks. I will explain that in a minute. Alan, how you doing?
Good, thank you. And how are you?
I am wonderful.
Where's your...
Conrad, Pollack, how are you?
All good here. All good here.
All right. Well, I'm in Jamaica. So
nice.
That's why you hear the innuendos and all of that stuff. But I'm in Jamaica, and I'm very proud to be here. I'm very thankful for what it is that you guys have done for a lot of Jamaican people, especially on the honesty side, because I've worked with firms before who have not been honest 100% with my people. And you guys have really, really laid the foundation when it comes to honesty. And I saw that email that you guys sent a few weeks ago, which plain straight up says honesty. And that was phenomenal, and we won't even get into that. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show Cruising with a Case Handler. We got Conrad Pollack, we got Alan E.K., we got Nelson Madrid, and we're gonna be talking about immigration. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Alan, we're gonna jump off with you. I'm in Jamaica, just to put it out there, okay? We're gonna jump off with you. I know we're gonna be talking with an organization in Jamaica, and you and I need to talk about it off here, but let's jump right into it. Any immigration news update?
Okay. The main thing is that if you are an American citizen, make sure that either you register to vote and make sure that you do vote. It's probably too late to mail your ballot in, but you'll have to bring it in or drop it in a box, but make sure that you vote. This is one of the most important elections in our history. If you're not happy with how things are going immigration-wise, it's your fault if you don't vote and change things. And we'll talk to you in a little while about what we can expect under President Biden. Now, in terms of if you have a removal order and you're expecting to be into a removal proceeding, but you don't have a date yet, the government keeps pushing it back and back and back. So the latest for people who are not detained and have a removal proceeding but don't have a date, the latest is November 13th. And as I say, they keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And one of the reasons for this is that the current active court cases backlog goes back to end of August 2020, and it's 1,246,164 cases pending. That's up 11% from the beginning of March when the backlog was 1,122,824. So the average waiting time for your removal proceeding has jumped 12% in the last 6 months. And people have been waiting for a hearing for an average of 26 months as of now, and may have to still wait longer before the hearing is actually scheduled. So not good news. If you have a removal proceeding and you'd like to have that removal proceeding going on, that's not good. Now, if you have filed an application for adjustment of status, and you may be getting something called an RFE to file a form called a 944 to show that you or your relatives would not become a public charge. So if you're going to be filing now, you've got to file that 944. If you filed previously and didn't put the 944, you may be getting something called a request for evidence to put in the 944, or you may get a denial saying you didn't put in the 944. So that's a very important form. It shows that you or your relatives will not become a public charge. And if you get a notice saying we're denying your case, or we want some more evidence, get in touch with us and we will help you, because it's something I don't think you're going to be able to do by yourself. It's a lengthy form and it asks for a lot of information. Now, some people have been asking us, what's going on at the American consulates? I'm waiting for my appointment. When is my relatives going to get called at the consulate? Well, many of the American consulates are still starting a phased reopening. Many of them are just offering not routine physical services, but only if there's an emergency, some kind of humanitarian or medical reason. So if you're waiting for your appointment at the American consulate, you're going to still be waiting. Now, what's going to happen if Joe Biden wins the election? A lot of good things are going to happen. He's going to do away with restrictions to immigration that were put in place during the Trump administration.
I'm so sorry, attorneys. I have to interrupt you.
Yep.
When Joe Biden wins, thank you. You may proceed.
When Joe Biden wins, he's going to do away with restrictions that were put in place during the Trump administration. He's going to stop construction of Trump's border wall. He's going to provide a roadmap to citizenship for people living in the United States illegally. He's going to expand resources to immigrants already residing in the United States. So a lot of good things are going to happen when Joe Biden wins the election and becomes president. And we will be happy to send you more details, and we'll be telling you more and more about it, but he already has a plan for changing things when he is elected president. Now, other things that we have a detailed list of Biden's plan. Be happy to send that to you. Just send us an email and we'll send you a whole list of what Biden's plans are. Not going to send you a list of what Trump's plans are because he's not going to win. So anyway,
I love this guy. I love this guy. Why don't we put a link up on the case handler page and PPID laws page to that? I think that would be phenomenal.
I think that's a good idea. Conrad, we can work.
Texting, I'm gonna text Ruthie right now to do that.
Right.
Okay,
I think
you'll be able to go up online and see what Biden's plan is going to be like. Not going to send you anything about Trump because he's not going to be president after January.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Cruising with a Case Handler. It's 12 minutes after the hour of 6. I am David Squeeze Annakie. The show got started off in a wonderful manner with the how everyone is feeling about what's coming next week. It's going to be a positive one, a very good one. All right. So we've got attorneys here. I'm the only dude that's here that's not an attorney. All I have is a lousy MBA degree, but that's all right. I'll work with that. But we got Nelson Madrid. Okay. What is, how long have you been practicing law, Nelson? Like 14 years, right?
13, going on 14.
All right. We've got Alan. I'll let Conrad tell you how long he's been practicing.
Well, I always bring up that comparison about you know, this day and age being similar to the Herbert Hoover administration, when the Depression was just beginning. And Alan, I think you voted against Hoover, didn't you?
I voted against Hoover. Yep.
All right. And we've got, of course, my dear friend, Adam Handler, who's a case handler who has settled well over $125 million for the Caribbean people and more. And he has proven himself, and he's very proud of it. I know he is. You know, he's a modest individual. I'm trying to pull him out of that. I'm like, you're an attorney. Attorneys are not supposed to be only modest. You gotta flex your muscles, man. You gotta show that you got balls. And I know you got balls, man. Not because I've seen them, because I was not in your fraternity or anything like that. All right. But I know you got balls. All right. Because I've seen it in the numbers. Talk to me, Adam.
Well, you know, those of you watching may have seen me pop on and pop off. And I was a real life.
Whoa. That doesn't sound right. But proceed.
This show just started. I logged on and I kicked my power cord and turned off every single piece of electronic equipment. So I've been trying to log on ever since. So thanks for your patience. I missed the beginning of the show, but I can guarantee those out there listening that they were listening to top quality attorneys. And that's really what we are. That's what we strive to be. That's who we hire. That's certainly the reason why I'm at the firm and why I brought my personal injury practice there nearly 6 years ago. So Squeeze, thanks for having us on tonight. And I'm sure you are very much enjoying yourself right now in Jamaica. And in honor of you, I'm rocking my favorite backgrounds. I got my two favorite backgrounds that I have are this one and let's see, this one. And they usually go hand in hand. In fact, I was on a Zoom conference a couple weeks ago and with the judge on a case. And I didn't realize I had this background on, and I signed on, and the judge goes, "Well, that's very presumptive of you, Mr. Handler." And it was very embarrassing. And then I'm like, which one should I go to next? And then all of a sudden I clicked "Behoove yourself," and then it finally made it to the normal background. But yeah, listen, we do this show in the evening just because we want to kind of get a different audience. You know, not everybody's up and doing their thing at 9:30 a.m., which is when we do our show live on 93.5 FM. And I think, you know, it's important that people on different times of the day watching this program live on Facebook and other social media platforms really understand who we are, what we do, and the way we do it. And again, my name is Adam Handler. I'm your case handler. We are Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And we say it and we mean it. You got a legal question, we got a legal answer. You got a legal problem, we got a legal solution. But you got to call our phone number. And our phone number, for those of you watching right now, easy to remember. I'll show you on the screen, is 844-774-3529. Right? Unless you call the number right here, I always mess that up, pointing to the left. Unless you call that number right there, you're not going to be connected to our law firm, because we won't know you exist. We don't know that you need our help, whether it's immigration, legalizing your status here in the United States, God forbid, facing deportation proceedings. We're here for you. We're here to answer your questions for 100% free over the phone. All you got to do is call that number and schedule the consultation. And of course, what we do here in the personal injury department is really nothing short of, I don't want to say miraculous, because that's only for one entity, and that's the man upstairs, but really, really good. Yeah, we do really, really, really good things here. And thank you, Squeeze, for having me on. And it's a pleasure to be with my partners here on this show, just hearing them talk. And, you know, we're trying to stump Conrad. We still haven't stumped him with an immigration question yet. So maybe we'll be able to do that later on.
Hold on, wait. There's a question, Adam, that you have not asked Squeeze this evening.
Yes, you are very right. And looking at that I can't use that word, but that, you know, blank eating grin on his face, and just look at it. God, I wish I could be right now. I think this is gonna be a very easy answer for him, and it's, hey, Squeeze, you down with PPID?
Come on, you know me. I mean, listen, you know, when I get people calling me now more and more every day, like, yo, Squeeze, you're back. I'm like, what the hell do you mean I'm back? I'm like, I didn't go anywhere.
Well, you were gone for a while. Come on.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. You're being a real lawyer right now.
Listen, you say I brought you out of retirement, man.
You know, but you're right. You know, Squeeze, you're back. You got the attorneys on. You're doing a show that not only speaks about one thing, but different areas of law. I'm like, yeah, man. Adam is the one to be thankful for that, you know. But on a serious note, we got personal injury, we got immigration, we got family law, we got criminal defense. I mean, we got so much at the firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And I must say much respect to the architect. I don't give a if he gets upset about it, but you know, I call him the architect. He has put together a great firm that is helping out not only the Caribbean community, but multiple communities. And I say to everybody that's watching right now, you need to actually share the link that you're watching, and the phone number 844-774-3529 is a very powerful link and a very powerful number. I mean, I'm quite sure you get attorneys, please don't get pissed, but I'm quite sure that you have heard it, that many people that attorneys, they're not honest and they're blah, 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 blah. But I will tell you this, the firm PPID, 100% honest. They're very straightforward. You know, I do have attorney friends, even outside of Adam, and I'm gonna get kicked in the ass, but they're nothing like PPID. They're nothing like the attorneys here. They're, you know, PPIDs, they fly straight. They fly straight. So with that said, I want to jump into it. And today, gentlemen, I want us to really seriously talk about the fact that we have an election coming up. And I'm not saying we're getting into politics, but maybe we are. We have an election coming up, and I need for people to understand why it is so important for us to vote come next Tuesday if we have not done so already. In every capacity. This country is in a dilemma, in my opinion, because of the administration that it's under. And I do believe whether or not it's immigration, personal injury, or other areas, we seriously need to understand where we are and what we're doing with our votes. Now, today is a day, I'm not going to tell anyone who to vote for. I just want people to understand what we're up against and what's going on. So I'm sorry, Adam. I really am sorry, but I do believe that it will do justice for the show, because a lot of my people, immigrants, okay, need to understand what's going on, because I have been speaking with people. I mean, I traveled here today to Jamaica, and someone said, I'm going to vote for Trump. And I'm not being biased, and I'm disclaiming it, because the person is a black person, and the person's like, I want to vote for Trump. I know I'm black, but Trump is doing more for me because I'm a black person and I have a business. So I really wanted to go there because I know you guys are attorneys. You face it every day, you see it every day, and that person is an immigrant. That person is not even a citizen. And I really wanted to talk more about that. It's so important, because I do believe that with Biden coming in, he's going to, for lack of a better word, relieve a lot of immigrants of a lot of stress, and even business people of a lot of stress, okay? And even persons dealing with other areas, whether it's personal injury and other areas. So I wanted to talk with you gentlemen about that today. And this is my little personal thing today. I don't know who wants to start it. I could take a wild guess, but you know.
Well, I'll just throw in briefly my 2 cents. Putting the immigration issue aside, which of course, you know, Biden is pro-immigrant and Trump is anti-immigrant.
Right.
I think it's time that we have a leader of the United States who talks about the things that bind us together as opposed to the things that separate us and divide us. I mean, Trump has an innate ability to get right to the cracks and to exacerbate differences between people. That's his true talent. He's really good at it.
Innate.
He's really good at fomenting dissent between people and dividing them and exacerbating the differences between them. And that's not what this country is about. The United States is a country built on immigrants. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. That idea of the U.S. being a melting pot, I believe that. You know, I've been an immigration lawyer for 37 years. My dad was an immigration lawyer for 20 years before that. Alan's been an immigration lawyer, since 1935, I think. So, you know, we have a rich history. We have a rich history in our firm of immigrants, of dealing with immigrants, working for immigrants, and I take great pride, as does my family, and as does most of the people that work at the firm now, in the fact that we do everything we can to help immigrants, and immigrants have built this country. Biden, I think, appreciates that. Trump doesn't. It's that simple. But again, putting immigration aside, do you want somebody leading the country who does nothing but divide us, or do you want somebody who's going to try and actually bring us together and emphasize and talk about the things that we have in common? We don't go anywhere as a divided nation, but together, history speaks for itself in terms of the things that the United States has been able to accomplish, and hopefully it can accomplish in the future. We're not going to be able to do it divided, as Abraham Lincoln said, who, you know, other than Abraham Lincoln, right? Trump just said last week in the debate, who's done more for black people than anyone except Abraham Lincoln, right? But house divided cannot stand, right? That's what Abraham Lincoln said. It's the truth. It's a perfect analogy for what's going on today. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that Biden wins.
He's gonna win.
Period.
He's gonna win. Thank you so much, Conrad. Yeah, Nelson.
Up on our website, and we will give you a list of all the nice things that President Biden will do after he becomes elected.
And to stop people voting and to not tally the votes and press no. The more people that less chance to win.
Well said.
Well said. I know, Adam, that you don't.
Am I being blocked? I'm backing up.
Yeah, I think Conrad, your internet is flicking. But Adam, before I get to the Maverick, all right, for lack of a better term, and I don't want to use the term, but I'm going to use it, as my friends are saying, yo, the Maverick is the gangster on the team, man. Because you know, meaning that he's the man, you know, he's got it together, you know, when it comes to dealing with his cases. But before I get to the Maverick, what's your take, Adam, in this all of this?
Listen, well, I'll put my orange background in just for you.
Yeah, we see.
I voted for Biden. Listen, that's what it comes down to. I voted for Biden because I think that this country is going in the right direction. A lot of people don't think it is, but I think it could be tweaked, and I think we can change things up a little bit and see what happens. You know, this has been a crazy year, and it's been hard to process. But you know what? If you don't do anything to change it, you can't complain. So we'll give this a shot. Good news is it's only 4 years. I remember when Trump was elected. Remember that next morning? It was almost like a hangover. Like we're like, oh man, what the? We're screwed. And now it went like that. And listen, some terrible things have happened since he's elected, but some good things have happened since he's been elected. So I really try to play down the middle as much as possible. I'm still striving for that candidate that truly inspires me. And until Nelson runs for president, I don't know if I'll ever find that person.
You know, Adam, I gotta disagree with you. You say, you know, the 4 years is going just like that, you know. Yeah, and luckily for you and for us, you know, we have.
Sorry,
am I
guys.
breaking up again? Luckily for each of us, you know, none of us have had any. None of us have had any close relatives who've died from COVID, although we all know people that have been sick from it or died from it. We also don't have any friends or relatives that have been locked up in cages when they were trying to come to the United States, although we know plenty of them and have heard the stories and have read about the stories, and a few of us in the immigration department.
Well, those are the reasons why I voted, but those are the reasons why I didn't vote for 4 more years of this, you know, because
Right, well,
I do understand those things. But
yeah, of course. But I'm just saying it did. You know, for a lot of people out there, I don't know if it's gone, you know, as fast as the snap of your fingers. You know, and those are the people that need our help, and of course, those are the people we're here to help, and
the people that we do help,
from a legal standpoint, of course. Yep.
there's the people that we do
But
help.
and again, and that's why this is such a serious issue.
Those are the
What's that?
people that you all help. And I don't think people realize how much that you all have done. You know, people take a lot of things for granted, especially when they're getting it for free, but they don't realize how much you have done and you didn't have to do. But that's what makes you guys so honest. And that's the reason why ultimately everyone will come to PPID.
Well, actually, Squeeze,
Yeah.
tomorrow morning when we're on again tomorrow at 9:30, we have a client of ours who's coming on tomorrow, and he's going to talk about some of the things that we've done to help him over the past 4 years, right, Nelson?
Yes, he's going to talk about his experience with ICE. Also, he was in ICE custody. He was in ICE custody for 18 months, and he can describe and tell you in great detail how he was treated. You know, he was actually incarcerated while COVID was going on, and they refused to release him. Okay. We filed a request, it was denied. We filed a request for reconsideration, that was denied. Fortunately, we were recently successful, and basically we prevailed in the case. Our client is now back home, but he spent 18 months in detention.
18 months.
18 months in
Wonderful.
ICE detention. Yes. We filed a federal lawsuit. He was in New Jersey. We filed a federal lawsuit in New Jersey. While the federal lawsuit was pending, he got moved to Buffalo. We had to file another federal lawsuit in Buffalo. So it's been tough, you know, and I think ultimately, you know, I spoke with his family. You know, fortunately, he believed in us, he trusted us, and he had the money to continue to fight. You know, a lot of people don't have that money.
Right.
You know, a lot of people run out of money. And I believe that money here was key.
And
You know?
Well, tomorrow morning he'll come on and he could tell us about it himself. You know, everybody out there, you want to hear what it's like being incarcerated by ICE for 18 months? All right, tune in tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. and we're going to have our client on and tell you all about it.
Yeah, looking forward to that show. That's going to be an interesting one. 18 months with your freedom taken away for 18 months, and you haven't even committed a crime.
You know what, guys, I was getting on a plane in Newark Liberty International Airport today, and I saw like 3 ICE, you know, the cops, and this dude being put on a plane. So me being the ass hole that I can be, you know, I'm walking on the plane, and I'm like, so you're sending one of my people home? And the guy was like, yes, we are. I'm like, he actually had the audacity to respond to me. I'm like, what did he do? I can't tell you, but I can tell you this: he deserves to go home. All right. I'm like, did he hurt anyone? No. Did he kill anyone? No. And he's like, what? Well, he's not supposed to be here in the United States, so we're sending him home. I'm like, okay, thanks for the information, man. You know,
well, you see, you know, it's funny. I've seen that on a couple of occasions, right? And obviously, it was something I had never looked for previously. But many times, the person is in handcuffs and has a jacket or a shirt covering the handcuffs.
exactly.
And is being escorted by 2 people. There's 2 people that are following this person. And when you pay closer attention, right, you realize that the guy can't obviously extend his hands because his hands are cuffed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, and one of the ICE officers, the black guy, and I'm like, so what the hell is going on here, man? I'm saying this to you, you know, I'm like, I'm not being biased, but I'm saying it's like, he just was not supposed to be here, and he violated by being here, so we're sending him home. I'm like, okay, all right, thanks, man. Thanks,
People may have noticed that when you encounter an ICE agent, sometimes the back of the jacket says police. They're not,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
not really
Yes.
police. They're really ICE, but they like to tell people and make people think they are police.
Well,
Right.
those cards that we're giving out, I really thought were very important. So Conrad, Nelson, thank you for putting that into motion, to have those people, people have that card. And it's basically, what to do if you're
What
approaching.
card? What are you guys talking about?
Oh yeah, I don't know if Squeeze even knows about that. Conrad, do you want to fill Squeeze in a little bit about those red cards?
Actually, that was Nelson's idea.
Nelson, you want to tell us about it?
It's just basically red cards, just advising people of their rights, letting them know that they don't have to speak to the ICE officer, just providing information. I think information is the key here. Information is power. A lot of people feel compelled and feel obligated to answer questions when they're being interrogated. The reality of it is you have rights, whether you're here legally or not, you have rights. And I think it's important that people are aware of their rights and exercise their rights. And if I could just add one thing, I just want to say one sentence. When we were talking about the last 4 years, it was an experiment gone horribly wrong. That's how I would describe it. Okay, wow. The last 4 years with this administration was an experiment that went horribly wrong.
It was the Trumpocalypse.
This being going back to the ID cards that we've given out to people, telling them their rights. This being the Halloween season, it makes me think of that old Dracula story of vampires. Vampires can't come after you. They have to be invited into your home. All right, so I give the same analogy here. ICE can't touch you unless you invite them into your home. Just like Dracula, unless you invite him into your house, he can't bite you.
What if they roll up to you on the street?
Right. Well, that's different. You're in public. But just to add to what Conrad said, here's the interesting thing, Squeeze, that a lot of people don't know. When ICE shows up at your house, they're not going to show a picture of you. They're going to show a picture of Alan and say they're looking for this person, right? It's 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. You're half asleep. You see some guy who obviously you don't know. Your guard is down. What are you going to do? You're going to open the door, right? And they're going to say, can I come in for 1 second? And you're going to say, sure, why not? They're looking for
nothing to hide.
That's right. They're looking for some other guy, and I'm not that guy, and that guy doesn't live here. You've now given them consent. And with that consent is when they say, we're actually not looking for this guy in the picture. What is your name? David Annakie. Sir, it's you we're looking for. Come with us. And that's how they scoop you up and bring you in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that was all in that Immigration Nation.
I know.
I hope a lot of people watch that, because that was very, very powerful stuff.
You know what, guys, this show, yes, is about immigration and personal injury. And that's the reason why I want people to call PPID at 844-774-3529. You all can see how we can go off and talking about so many different areas of law, especially in the capacity of immigration and also personal injury. But Adam, before we conclude, because I know you want to go eat your rice and peas and oxtail, I need for you to touch on, a true success story that you have actually executed, where our clients are concerned and helping them to, of course, get that compensation that they truly deserve. Sure. And I want one, hold up, I want one when you were with PPID, all right?
These are all, what does that mean? I'm always with PPID. I've always been down.
No, I know you have not been with them for 15 years, but
okay.
I've been within the past 6 years.
Sure. Well, how about my first multi-million-dollar trial at Pollack, Isaac DeSico?
Sure.
Okay. It was a bus accident in Queens. This was the first. I think this was the first multi-million-dollar verdict I had a PPID. I had several beforehand, but this was the one that I remember. I came into Conrad's office, and he said, "You done good, son." This was a very, very serious accident. A woman on a bus, which was actually rear-ended by another bus. So 2 MTA buses get into an accident. She has a terrible, terrible injury to her left knee, basically shattered the knee joint. And on the left here, you can see this is a actual CT scan, the digitized CT scan they took in the hospital. And that is not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be clean white bone, and you see it is pulverized. And she had to have emergency surgery in the hospital, where we actually hired a illustrator to recreate what the surgery entailed. And this is what we showed to the jury. It shows the fractures, shows the hardware used, shows the technique used. Very, very serious. And she got serious money. And the amount of money she got in this case was $3.889 million. The jury came back, gave us everything we asked for, every dollar for lost wages, every dollar for time out of work, and every dollar we asked for with respect to her pain and suffering. So a big, big deal, a case I'm very, very proud of, one that I'll certainly never forget. And that's how we do it at PPID, ladies and gentlemen. One chance to get it right. She had lots of choices of lawyers. She chose your boy, Adam Handler, the case handler. She chose Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. We spent the money for trial. That's another thing. You know, a lot of lawyers out there, you know, they want to settle the case because, first of all, trial is a risk. You never know what the jury is going to say. And also, trial is expensive. You know, this case cost about $30,000 to put on, you know, between the witnesses and the exhibits. And that's money that our firm lays out. And if we're successful, of course, it works out great. But if we're not successful, you know, that's a loss. So that's something that obviously is a risk to us. But Conrad has never, ever, ever, ever said to me, you know, don't spend the money. He understands you get out of things what you put into it. And if we've got a good case and you need our help, and if your case costs tens of thousands of dollars to bring to trial, rest assured, we are the law firm that's going to do it for you. We're not going to try to sell you out at the end just so we cover our butts. We will take that risk with you. We will make that calculated decision with you. And that's why I personally have obtained over $125 million for my clients, because I go for it, baby.
You are truly Adam Handler, man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that's Adam Handler, the case handler. If you ever, look at my face, if you ever get hurt, he is truly the only attorney that you will ever need to handle your case. He will handle everything. And you must go with the firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Everybody know them as PPID. Adam Handler runs the personal injury department. So dial that number, please. Share that number, please. And share the link that you're watching, please, with everyone that you know, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Personal injury is synonymous with PPID. Personal injury is synonymous with the case handler. Accident cases is synonymous with Adam Handler, case handler, PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. With that said, before I go, I want to go back to the general. If any of you have any doubt about the firm, 1 minute. Okay. If any of you have any doubt about the depth and the experience of the firm PPID, I am going to let Alan E.K., the attorney that's got, I don't want Conrad to jump in on this, that's got so much experience, just give a 60-second comment about his work at, of course, PPID.
I'm sorry, actually, before Alan goes,
Yeah,
just
get that door. Who's at the door? I want to see who's
I just want to point this out. Alan alone probably has more experience than some law firms. I just want to put that out there. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay. Two things. Number one, really, really important that if you are an American citizen, you get out and vote. It's too late to mail anything in. You should go down to the polling place and either see somebody and give in your ballot or vote or put something in a box. It's too late to mail it in now. And if you don't vote, you may be sorry. Now, just to show you the things that are happening under the present president, Trump has a new rule pending. Under this new rule, students will be limited to 2 or 4 years instead of the present, which could go on and on and on. And students from certain countries, such as state-sponsored terrorism, or countries whose citizens have a high rate of overstaying their visas, many African countries, would be restricted to 2 years. So if you're a student and on a student visa, you may be restricted, get a maximum of 2 to 4 years instead of presently where it could go on and on and on as long as you're in school. These are some of the terrible things that happened or are going to happen if we don't change the president.
Alan, let me interrupt you for a second.
We're going to change all
Let me
of
interrupt you for a second.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt you for a second, though. When you say, oh, student visa go on and on and on forever. You know, I mean, the fact is, currently, regulations allow students to come here to study and stay as long as their educational program exists, so long as they're still in school, as opposed to what Trump wants to do, imposing an arbitrary limit of 2 years or 4 years, basically, and that's it. So if you're in a program, you come here, I don't know, for 4 years for a bachelor's degree, and then you want to go to law school, that's 7 years. Under the Trump proposal, you can't do that. You can come for the 4 years, maybe, if you're from the right country, but after that, you got to go. Now, talk about how insane and how just idiotic such a rule is. Just off the top of my head, what comes to mind is, think about all of the tech companies, Google and so on, that have been founded by immigrants, right? And I guarantee you, very few of those companies founded by those immigrants were in school here for 2 years. Now, what is this? So what is this genius program going to do? It's going to force these kids to go elsewhere. So the next founder of Microsoft or the next founder of Google is not going to be in the United States. He's going to be in Canada, or he's going to be in Germany, or he's going to be in France. He's not going to be in the United States. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, there are so many things, so many programs and law and regulations that have been created already by this idiot in chief that are doing nothing and will do nothing but in the future shoot the United States in the foot. It's just it's insane.
In all his infinite wisdom.
Insane.
The headline on what we're talking about now from the New York Times says this: new visa limits would be a self-inflicted wound for the United States. And so
that's fake news. Every news media outlet that says anything negative or derogatory is fake.
And you can't, if you're on a student visa, what is that, F1 visa?
Yes.
You're not allowed to work, right? You can only go to school. So it's not like you're taking American jobs by being here.
No,
of course, all it is another way for him to build. This is his wall. Forget about that wall on the Mexican border. That's a bunch of crap.
It's not about a wall in the Mexican border. That's a diversion. Yeah.
The wall is not built. I read an article today. This wall has not been built of stone and metal. This is a wall built of paper. These are regulations that have been creating an effective wall to people like this, to students like this who are coming to enrich the United States. And now, maybe Trump says, and why? I don't know. All right, they're not taking jobs, as you said. Why the purpose of this rule? In my mind, the only reason I can think of is because we don't want immigrants here. So send them to Canada, send them to China, or send them to Germany. We don't want them here. Real smart. It's a real smart idea, especially when you take into consideration all of these tech companies. And I'm just using one industry in particular. I think 50% of the biggest ones have been created by immigrants in this country, immigrants to the United States. It's just mind-boggling.
Tesla.
But that is definitely true, Conrad. I mean,
I know it's true.
The majority of the powerful tech companies have been created by immigrants here in the United States.
Also, to add to that, in the 2018 to 2019 academic year, international students contributed $41 billion to to the economy and supported 500,000 jobs. Since Trump took office in 2016, the flight of international students to other countries has cost our economy $11.8 billion.
$1 billion, right? Unbelievable.
All right, guys, I'm out.
Listen,
Now,
hopefully everybody's celebrating Wednesday. Is it Wednesday morning?
oh, we're all gonna be celebrating.
It won't be the hangover.
Madrid's gonna win.
I told Conrad I may not go in on Wednesday. I may be hungover.
All right.
Have a
Guys,
good night,
Been
everyone.
fun.
Great
Sweet
show,
safe
guys.
travels. This I'm holding
Oh, is that a Crayola crayon?
it is a not only a crayon, it's a green crayon. That's for you. That's an honor of you, buddy. Enjoy yourself down there.
All right, thank you so much.
Passing this green crayon to you.
Thank you so much. But you know, the green color means the Jamaica Labourite Party.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I was very well aware of that.
Okay, I'm just saying that. But you know, you have the PNP party. So when they come in power, what are you gonna do?
What color is that?
That's the orange.
No,
You're gonna find a crayon right now to demonstrate that. Oh, you're a deep
Get
dude.
your crayons ready.
There you go.
all right.
You got your kids around, man.
That's what happens when you got girls. I'll see you, buddy.
Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Bye,
Well,
Adam.
hopefully we're all going to be celebrating Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. I know I'm breaking out that Appleton Estate rum. All right.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what, Conrad knows his stuff, you know, and Nelson's gonna be drinking his red stripe, you know.
No,
And
actually, Guinness Nutriment with
Oh,
an egg yolk.
anyway,
I've got that Appleton 30-year estate rum sitting on my table. As soon as I know that Biden has won, I crack it and I start drinking it.
what about you, Alan? What are you gonna be doing?
I'm going to be sharing some of Conrad's booze.
That's what I'm talking about. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure doing the greatest show on radio and on, of course, social media with you guys, being the law firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, and being, you know, my proudest client, you know, where I'm coming from and where I'm sitting right here. You know, being in Jamaica right now for a couple of days, I'm heading back just to vote in time. And I want to thank you all so much for helping out, of giving information on immigration and also on personal injury. Let's all go out and vote, and let's wear a mask while doing it. Thank you all so much.